As of October 21, the Ethereum network is now censoring more than 50% of all of the blocks on the network. The reason this censorship is happening is because OFAC, the United States Office of Foreign Assets Control, has a list of officially sanctioned Ethereum addresses and contracts, the most famous of these being Tornado Cash. Then the ETH merge happened, turning Ethereum from proof of work into proof of stake. The switch to proof of stake is the catalyst for this censorship. Why and how did the merge create these conditions for censorship? It works like this. A block proposer is any node that proposes what transactions should be included in the next block, and in what order. In proof of work, there aren't many block proposers because if you didn't solve the block personally, then no one will listen to your proposal. But in proof of stake, there are many, many more block proposers because no one knows which node will be chosen to select the next block ordering. And so validators need to have more blocks ready in the case that they're selected. This is a bit of a tough job because not only are you picking which transactions will be included in the next block, but in what order they will be picked for the next block. This means that users will be bidding ETH in the form of gas to be in the next block and potentially be in a specific order, which creates a very large organizational math problem. This organizational math problem is difficult enough that it has led to the rise of a new service called MEV Boost. According to mevwatch.info, MEV Boost is a service that lets validators outsource their block production duties to the highest bidder. When setting up MEV Boost, validators pick from which relays they would like to accept blocks from. Of the 7 major MEV Boost relays, 4 of them censor transactions. And this one service, which is being utilized by many, many, many nodes in the new proof-of-stake system, has led to 55% of all blocks being censored on ETH as of October 21. In case you're wondering what a censored transaction looks like on Ethereum, very simply, a censored transaction is any time when a user pays enough in gas that they should be included in the next block, but aren't. Everybody knows that if you pay more in gas, your transaction will get processed more quickly, right? Not anymore. There are a bunch of users right now who, no matter how much they pay in gas, will not be included in any of these blocks that are run through these MEV boosting relays. They will not get processed. Their transaction will be censored. For example, let's say a high priority transaction on Ethereum is 54 gwei. Any user who bids 100 gwei for gas should surely be included in the very next block, nearly instantly. But if you're on OFAC's naughty list, no matter how much you spend in gas, these relays will not include your transaction in the next block, or in any block that they deal with. The people who developed Tornado Cash have not been convicted. They haven't gone to court. They haven't received due process. They haven't even been charged with a crime. But right now, some developer of Tornado Cash is in jail. He's in jail because the Dutch government ordered him to be imprisoned while he waits for the Dutch government to come up with charges to press against him. None of the users of Tornado Cash who OFAC placed on this list have been convicted of anything. They haven't been given due process. They haven't gone to court at all. They haven't even been charged with a crime. And yet, they have been placed on the sanction list, and now their transactions are being censored. Last month, I made 2 videos covering the Ethereum merge, and at the end of this summary, I had this to say. And with ETH switching to proof of stake, Ethereum really is starting to look like every other crappy, unscalable proof of stake blockchain. It doesn't stand out. The Ethereum network isn't just looking like another bad proof of stake blockchain. Ethereum is now responsible for nearly all censorship in all of crypto. Look, I get that the word fascist gets tossed around a lot these days. Obama was a fascist, Bush was a fascist, Trump was a fascist, Hillary Clinton was a fascist, even though she wasn't even president. Biden's definitely a fascist. But this is actual fascism, right? The censorship of unconvicted, uncharged, untried, innocent individuals, that's actual fascism, right? This is supposed to be the one thing that crypto's good for. The one real use case, censorship resistance. And in 30 days, a month since the merge, that has gone down the toilet as these MEV boosting relays bend the knee to OFAC. On the day that the switch to proof of stake was made, 9% of all blocks were being censored. As of October 21, that number is up to 55%. At the rate we're going, by the middle of next month, we're going to have 110% censorship. And I know that sounds like a joke, but literally it's not. Right now, whenever a block is censored, typically only one transaction on that block is being excluded. So here's what 110% censorship would mean. It means that for 10 blocks, 9 of them would have one censored transaction, and the last one would have 2 censored transactions, for a total of 11 censored transactions in 10 blocks. 110%. And I know that 110% number sounds stupid, but you gotta think about that for a second. ETH is becoming so censored that we're going to have to change the metrics that we measure censorship by, because they start to sound stupid when you say things are 110% censored. Right now, we only measure how many blocks have censorship in them. But by the end of the year, it's really looking like we're going to be measuring how much of every block is being censored. Oh, look at that. Only 23% of the transactions were censored. That's not so bad. This was unthinkable 3 years ago. How? How has ETH in the span of 30 days gone from being censorship resistant as one of its primary use cases to being the premier place for censorship in all of crypto? It is now censoring more transactions than every other network combined. The MEV boosting relays that censor these transactions should be universally castigated. They should be slashed, their ETH should be stripped from them in at least some capacity until they get with the program. This sucks. I'm depressed. There is no happy ending to this story, so I'm gonna go 3D print miniatures for Dungeons and Dragons. This thing is gonna kill so many of my friends.